Uh-oh, you're burned out. Now what? Let's look at some real burnout solutions to help you recover. I'm Jennifer Bassman, a certified Clifton Strengths coach and a burnout entrepreneur burnout master. I help others extinguish burnout in their own lives so that they can recover to a business and a life built around their strengths and what they do best. I'm also a burnout survivor. In 2013, I burned out and spent more than 2 years clawing my way out. Now I share resources and teach others how to prevent and recover from burnout. So here's my warning label though. I tell it like it is, and I give you the hard truth about burnout recovery. It's not easy. So if you're not really ready to fight your burnout, you may not like what I have to say. I say that because some would rather make excuses or focus on what they can't do or can't change. You've got to be ready to do the hard mindset work to fix your burnout. As promised, I'm sharing burnout solutions in this video. Right off the bat, I'd like to knock out the obvious solutions. Then I'll tell you about the 6 less obvious solutions to your work burnout that will truly have an impact. One thing to note is that burnout recovery isn't quick. It doesn't happen overnight or in a few days. Your recovery time will depend on how long you've been burned out and how quickly you can find effective solutions that work for you. That's why I'm here. I want to share effective solutions so your recovery process isn't as frustrating or confusing. Will you still have bad or tough days while recovering? Yes, but be consistent, keep watching for and watch for effective burnout solutions. Here are some of the obvious burnout solutions. I call them obvious because you can pretty much go to any article on the internet about burnout solutions, and it will advise you to do the following: get more sleep, work less, or find a less stressful job. Let go of stress, exercise more, eat a healthy diet, learn to delegate, start practicing yoga and meditation. Let me be clear, none of these answers are wrong. In fact, all or a combination of those things will be part of your burnout recovery. But, and this is a big but, what no one else tells you or makes clear is it's going to take a combination of solutions that go deeper and that are unique to you. Let me repeat myself. Real burnout recovery is going to take a combination of solutions that are unique to you, that go deep and get to the root cause of your burnout. Otherwise, everything is just a Band-Aid. So are you ready to go deep? I ask this because this is where some of my tough love and telling it like it is starts. You're going to have to start making some hard choices and changes to your mindset to get rid of the things that burned you out. So let's get started on those 6 deeper burnout recovery solutions. Solution number 1, get to the root of your burnout. If you don't know why you're burning out, what is really causing you to burn out, most burnout solutions won't work. Why is getting to the root of your burnout so important? Because it is the driver and the cause of your work burnout. One of the most effective ways to find the root of your burnout is by taking a Clifton Strengths assessment. The results of this assessment will identify your talents and your strengths. Often, the root cause of your burnout is because you aren't working in your zone of genius or doing what you do best. Check the show notes below for a link to Clifton Strengths or StrengthsFinders assessment. This isn't the only way to find the root cause of your work burnout, but it is one of the most effective ways to do it. Solution 2, change your belief system and your mindset about what you can control. When you're burned out, you feel like life and circumstances are beyond your control. This solution is where I begin to hear so many excuses. I hear a lot of, I can't, or someone else made me, or I'm not good at change. This mindset only blocks you from doing anything about your situation. You need to believe that you can make choices to improve your present situation. You also need to believe that taking action and taking charge will change the way you feel and understand it will take some time. Solution number 3, understand that burnout isn't about weakness or failure. I mention this because it's part of the mindset work you did in step 2. Often we feel like we failed ourselves or others because we're too tired and unable to function as we normally do. We don't feel productive or effective when we're burned out. So give yourself some grace. Let's talk about solution number 4. Be honest with yourself that even though it feels like everything is working against you and that you don't have much control over your situation, no one else is to blame for your burnout. Remember that tough love I talked about earlier? Here's where it comes. Here's where it comes in. One of the most common complaints I hear from people experiencing burnout is that other people did this to them, put them in this mental and physical state. This is one of the most difficult work burnout concepts to come to terms with. Your burnout is the result of choices you have made over time. You chose to skip your lunch break. You chose not to take a vacation. You chose to overschedule yourself. You chose to say yes instead of no to a request that you don't have the time or the capacity to fill. You chose not to have boundaries. You do have the choice to say no, ask for an extension, turn down an invitation, or turn down extra work. But you're choosing to stay in a job that is making you sick or continue with toxic relationships that contribute to chronic stress that rather than support you. But, no, you have a choice. You have a choice to take back control of your situation and manage your time and energy. Yes, others may have contributed to the situation, but you have the ability to make better choices that can improve your present and your future. Solution number 5, learn to say no and create effective boundaries. I know, no one likes to be told no, but you know what? They do expect it. For all you people pleasers and those afraid to feel guilty, people will respect you and your time more when you start saying no. Creating effective boundaries around your time and your energy are a cornerstone and a must to recover from work burnout. Consider what burned you out in the first place. Think about all of the extra work, the packed schedule, and the inability to rest or take time off. Not to mention, most of what you're doing may not align with your priorities, and you aren't making any progress towards your goals. That's defeating. So learn to say no and create effective boundaries. And if you need some help learning how, check out the show notes below on how to find a copy of my book, Stop Being a Doormat. It is a must-have if you know you are a people pleaser and you feel guilty saying no. I also link to a free resource in the show notes to a guide teaching you how to say no in 3 easy steps. Solution number 6. It is going to take a combination of several solutions to recover. I feel like I can't say this one enough. No one act, no one habit change or concept works by itself. Each of the solutions I've mentioned so far requires that you're doing it in combination with another mindset shift or habit change in order for it to be effective. For example, you can't just take a nap and expect your burnout to disappear. Don't get me wrong, naps are great and I highly recommend them. But to make those naps more effective, you need to get rid of the chronic stress. So keep taking a nap, but also stop overscheduling yourself or start saying no to projects and requests you don't have the capacity to complete. Otherwise, that nap is kind of wasted because that nap is supposed to be for recovery, not to help you power through some extra burdens. I do want to address some of the obvious work burnout solutions that I did mention earlier. So let's talk about sleep first. Getting more and higher quality sleep is part of many people's burnout recovery, but you can't ignore all of the other contributors as well, like the root cause of your burnout. Sleep won't be nearly as effective if you don't remove yourself from the chronic stressful situations. I also want to address removing yourself from chronically stressful work, relationships, and obligations. This is the hardest change for most of us to accept and follow through on, but it is the most critical. The cause of burnout is chronic and excessive stress and prolonged stress, right? So if you don't identify these stressors and remove them, you will not be able to recover from your burnout. This doesn't necessarily mean quitting your job or removing people from your life. What this means is finding solutions to get rid of that stress. This may mean asking for or hiring help, working fewer hours, taking on less work, having a conversation with your boss or employees about your workload, or spending less time with people that just don't make you happy. In an ideal world, we would be able to quit our jobs or kick a bad relationship to the curb. But in some situations, it's not possible to do immediately or needs to be done in incremental steps. The goal here, though, is to get to the point where you aren't doing work or activity that doesn't match your values or goals, or spending time with people that just don't make you happy. Okay, that's enough tough love for one day. If you're suffering from burnout or working to prevent it, be sure to subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button below. I consistently update with videos that discuss burnout and ideas directly related to it. Thank you for watching today, and I'm glad you're here.